Hello and welcome back. I'm having a pretty long day, I gotta be honest with you guys. And I don't know, for some reason it made me feel like maybe I would feel better if I just turned on my microphone and talked about something that mattered to me and did something a little bit more meaningful. So we all got the competitive update today, the blog post that we were looking forward to. And you know, typical me, I had a beautifully terrible age tweet, and I basically tweeted out that I had faith in Epic, that I had faith that this was going to be their coming home to the community, that the eyes emoji event of them flying out a bunch of professionals and influencers, you know, if you didn't know about that, that was pretty much 99.9% confirmed. They flew out a bunch of people to test out the game and to help them make decisions and give feedback, and I just had faith that Epic was in a transition period where, for whatever reason, and we're going to talk about this, they were choosing to make decisions that were not in the game's best interest or in the community's interest. I had a feeling that they were going to transition away from that, and you can't full send on wiping your mistakes. You have to kind of hold your position a little bit. You don't want them to come out outright and say like, hey, look, we fucked up, we're so sorry, because they need to hold a position of strength and leadership, but you don't want them to ignore you forever as well, and that's what they've chosen to do. So this update comes out today, and we all know what it is. It's them giving us the giant middle finger and telling us, hey, look, you know, these are the changes we've made. This is our data. This is our game. This is what we want to do with it, and that's what we're gonna do. And I'm sorry, you know, I had a little back and forth with TSM Myth today, and I'm sorry if you're a person that chooses inaction, if you're a person that is ready to give up and ready to just let this game be what it is, then you're no one that I want to support. You're no one that I think is worth having the elevated position that you're in, because I think now is the perfect time for action, and choosing to do nothing is going to allow Epic to continue to do what they're doing. But let's go ahead and talk, because I've posted my thoughts. I've given enough of my insight to kind of basically circumvent or TLDR this entire video, but we are going to talk about these things. I want to go back to the motivation. If you saw my tweet, if you saw my video today that I posted while I was sitting in my car, I'm going to tell you the same thing. The motivation of anything that Epic Games Studios is doing for this game is money, and they have, it's like that Batman quote, the Dark Knight quote, you know, you either live long enough to, you die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Well, that's quite literally the case here. This game was a gold mine. It was a goose egg. They had no idea what they had. They didn't mean to make this. It's the same reason they're running into so many literal issues in terms of server stability and balancing. This team of developers was not meant for this project. No one was meant for this project. This is quite literally a social phenomenon, and we have seen evolutions in this game. We saw the evolution of it becoming popular, its rise to fame. We have now, you know, we've now seen the evolution of the competitive scene coming to fruition, the skill of each player starting to rise, the reactions from, you know, the players that were already playing versus the players that needed to improve, the evolution of building the new metas from, you know, different weapons combinations, double pump to pump SMG to we've seen so much in terms of just an outplay mechanics or outplay ability and mechanics in building, that this game has gone through an entire saga of changes. And all the while, every single month, Epic Games is just raking in millions and millions, hundreds of millions, and earned themselves $3 billion last year. And I have to say, up to a certain point, rightfully so. I don't think anybody thinks at the game's core, what the game is, what we know the game is, that the game is bad. That's not the case. But there's an apparent friction and disconnect between what is being developed into the game and what is being directly asked for in the community and the player base. Now, here's the thing. We are the vocal minority, and it's important to talk about this because it's impossible for me to speak for all the millions and millions of players out there in the world. It's quite literally impossible. I don't know. But my problem with the way that they present their information, the way that they say that, you know, the 90% of the non-high skilled players became frustrated and want to leave the game, my problem with that kind of anecdotal evidence is that it's just that we don't have any infographics, we don't have any reports, they have not provided us with any numbers in terms of player retention, and let me explain something to you. They never will. They can push whatever agenda, whatever story, whatever they want, and the motivation, I'm coming full circle here, is money. When you feed Epic Games, when you pay them, you are giving them your permission to do as they please. If you are unhappy with the state of the game, stop paying money. So my campaign, and it'll probably be the title of this video, is hashtag Fortnite Endgame. Now here's the irony. It's the play on words with the current Avengers Endgame, kind of the culmination of 11 years of film with the MCU. It's the play on the LTM with the crossover Fortnite Endgame. And it's quite literally, for me, the endgame of me saying, hey look, fuck this, I'm done supporting this shit game and these shit developers. As a blanket statement, and I need to put that in there to cycle back to it, but I'm done giving them my money, and I wish I was a big influencer. I wish I was someone like Tfue that could say, hey, this game's ass, like, stop buying shit, I don't need their fucking money, because it's true. Not a single big influencer needs the money from the supporter creator program, but they're all gaining it for free, so it's really hard to tell them to stop using that and to stop pushing that as a source of revenue and income in terms of creating a protest. But I wish someone would start this rally that wasn't me. I wish someone would stand the fuck. I wish Myth would have fucking grabbed his balls and pulled them down and said, hey look, fuck this game, we've given this game so much, we've promoted it so much, we've worked with them, we've told them what we want, we do everything for this game, we built the competitive scene, we begged for this, we begged for that, all they did was supply the money that they made in a single month. They had I think it was August of 2018, or it was either April or August of 2018 was when they were reported to have earned a $100 million revenue month. So that $100 million, they made it in a month. And I wish someone would have stood the fuck up and said, hey look, this game, these developers, these decisions are unacceptable, I will not be supporting it, I will tell my community to stop supporting it. And that's what I've done. Now here's the thing, I'm fucking no one. I'm no one special, but I'm not going to support this game financially for the entire month of May. I will start a post at the beginning of May to show you what my VBECs are, because I kind of did something like this, but I faltered because there was just no point. I ended up buying whatever the fuck I want. And to explain, I don't think that the developers at Epic Games are shit. I think that the executives at Epic Games are shit. If I'm not mistaken, let me actually look this up while I'm recording this. Games. I don't believe that Epic Games is a public company. I am 90% positive that Epic Games is a private company. Now here's the thing, there are no shareholders to report to, there are owners. And these owners are making so much money that they are given options. They're basically given two options as the way I see it. You can be very responsive and very supportive of what the community wants, the competitive scene wants, what the vocal community is saying, and what the developers want, the direction that they want to take the game, and you can be very responsive to that, or you can milk the fuck out of the cow. And they've chosen to milk the cow. They've chosen to keep giving us these posts that tell us we want to keep things fresh. How many times are you going to tell us that you want to keep us on our toes and keep things fresh? What they're doing is they're playing the relevancy card on change. So they're doing these crazy things to keep themselves in the limelight at the expense of their players to stack up their pockets. So The CEO, the owners, the people that are at the very tip top of Epic Games, the executives, the literal owners of the company, these guys are so filthy rich that if Fortnite ended tomorrow, if everybody unanimously in the world, which is impossible, decided to stop giving them money tomorrow, they would eventually shut down the servers and stop supporting the game because they're not making any revenue, and those people would still be fine. You know who's going to suffer the most? The people that are going to suffer the most are not us, not the players, not the influencers, the streamers. It's the Epic Games developers whose livelihood depend on this game and are going into work 70 to 100-hour work weeks, miserable, working overtime, leaking this information to try to get some kind of relief, to get a response from Epic Games executives and management to help them out with their life, because this is their passion, this is their project, this is their baby, and they aren't happy with it. It's a shame. Everything about this game it's so crazy how it went from nothing to the greatest thing I've ever seen, back to when the meteor was in the sky and me and my friends, IRL friends, would talk about how crazy Epic Games was for pulling off an ARG and these theories that were coming out and all this stuff, how much of a spectacle and a miracle it was that something was finally fresh and fun. And how did we get here now? How did we get to the point where they've fallen from such grace, where they flew too close to the sun? It's greed, it's the money. And it almost makes you sad when you realize that your passion, the game that you love so much, and the game that these people, these developers, these artists, these esports enthusiasts have sunk their life into, and they have to walk into work every day disappointed. And that's a reality. It's a reality that you have to face. It's a reality that they have to face every single day, and they know their livelihood is on the line. They know that if they stop meeting their deadlines, they're done, they're fired. They know that if they don't pull that 70 to 100-hour work week, the responsibility falls to someone else, and they don't want to be that person that screws over their own team. They don't want to take their time off. So they work, and they kill themselves over it, over a project that they don't even care about, to put out a blog post that we don't even want, to give us a product that we're not even happy with. So, I don't know. I feel confident that someone who's an Epic Games employee will watch this. I don't feel confident that someone that matters will watch this, no offense, like an executive. But I feel for you. And your time in the sun will come again. You will work for a company that will value you, or this company will shape up. Something will happen where your talent will not go to waste. But right now, I understand your decision to work with Epic. Right now, I understand, your agenda to have a career, to build on your resume, to work on a project that truly is a passion of yours, even if it's not going your way. So for anybody in that situation, I truly feel for you. And for us, the players, it's just a shame. We were given such a great game that wasn't supposed to exist. They didn't know how to manage it, and they did the one thing that made sense, and that was money. Epic Games hasn't had a launch, a breakthrough, a massive title since the Gears of War franchise, and look at what they have been given, what they've been handed. So I guess the premise of this video is to kind of explain and to kind of just talk and share my thoughts about the situation that we're in. And the key points for me is that the motivation is the money, and it's a shame. The heartbreaking reality is that things aren't going to change unless we change them. And the even more heartbreaking reality, the even more so painful reality, is the fact that I know there are people out there that are suffering and that are frustrated with their jobs and their livelihood. They're worried, and that's heartbreaking. To the executives, I feel disgusted. To the people that are running Epic Games, I feel disgusted that you care so little about life. You care so little about your employees and the well-being and the comfort of your employees, and that you just want to make more money. It's disgusting. And overall, I just feel like we all know what's going to happen. We all know that this game is going to run its course for a little while, and then it'll die out indefinitely. Something will come along, something else will knock this off the shelf. And this game could have a 5 to 10 year lifespan minimum. And we're looking at like maybe 2 to 3 more years of this. Maybe. 3 years feels impossible, doesn't it? Doesn't another 3 years of Fortnite feel impossible to you? I could maybe see 1 or 2 more years. But it's unfortunate, and I wish I didn't have to make this video. I wish I didn't have to feel this way about my favorite game. And we do. So my call to action is for anyone that sees this video, if you've made it this far especially, share it with the hashtag Fortnite Endgame. Share it to your favorite or the most popular influencer that you know and tell them, hey, how about we just see what happens if we don't buy anything and we promote not buying anything in the Fortnite item shop or in the Epic Games Store for 1 month in protest of not being heard. This blog post was a fucking disgrace. They should have just said nothing at all. A blog post to come out and say, hey, look, we hear you, but we don't care, is more disrespectful than choosing to make a decision and not answering our cries, in my opinion. So the little snippet about wanting to be more transparent and wanting to communicate with us, that part was good. I'll give them props on that. But it doesn't matter if you're going to tell us whatever you want, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to do. So that's my thoughts. Fortnite Endgame is here for me. I know I personally am going to stop spending money on this game, and I think it'll be a challenge because for the developers out there that are actually making the game, I think it's a talented ass team. For the design team that are making the skins and the cosmetics, I think they're an amazingly talented team. For the actual, and this is just terminology, for the grunt workers at Epic Games, I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry that you have to experience this. I'm so sorry that your hard work is wasted on a product that has no soul. But I support you, and when the inevitable happens, when you are posting that you're looking for a new job or that you're looking for opportunities, I'll be there to support you. And I hope that this is worth the resume. I do, and I think it is. I think it can be big for some of you, so fight through it. And that's my thoughts for today. All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake?